Hi, this is Tandy Gutierrez, and this is a mat and kitchen tutorial for you. I shoot for the members of matandkitchen.com. So when they start to ask a lot of the similar questions, I go, it's time for a little tutorial. So here we go. Dolphin, right? Everybody goes, oh, that's a hard one. It is a hard one, okay? So there's a lot that goes into Dolphin. It's got a ton of low back flexibility and a lot of hamstring stretch and flexibility, but it mostly has to do with your shoulder and chest flexibility. So this little mini video is going to help you open up. If you've got any injury or issue in the shoulder or the neck, you should definitely email me first before heading into this. It's tandy@matandkitchen.com. But healthy and, stable and just kind of tight, this will have you sailing into things, okay? So you are gonna need a yoga strap and one yoga block for what we're gonna do today. And it's a preparation and a build into it. So take your yoga strap. You can use a belt, you can use a scarf, you can use a towel, you can use a resistance band. Start about knee distance apart. So if you're in a cross-legged position, a little bit wider than the shoulders, you're just gonna go up and back, okay? The goal with the shoulder flossing is literally to floss out the gunk that gets stuck in there. You can get the arms to go forward and back in a totally straight arm position. Everybody can. It just depends on how close or how wide the arms are, okay? If that's a very simple, easy thing for you to do, you're going to start to walk the hands closer together and aim more for the shoulder distance apart without forcing or mashing anything. In a lot of ways, using a resistance band for this is the yummiest and the kindest way to do it. One more time. Forward, one more time back, and then come forward again, okay? The goal is to get the shoulders open to where they're moving in that 360-degree motion without trouble. That's what they're built to do. So then you head into pranic bath. Fingers go together. It's as if you're pouring water over your noggin. You keep everything as close as possible. Flip to where the palms are back to back. They stay as close as possible. Then they get as straight as possible. Reach back behind you. This is one of those where everybody goes, mine does not look like yours, Tandy. That's okay, it takes practice. It's been years, right? So as you extend through things and as you practice, they open up and they get better and kinder and easier to do. In the process, you do the best you can. You get them as close as possible. You keep them as close as possible, even if they're apart. Then you try to keep them back to back as close as possible. Straighten them out, shoulders stay away from your ears, lower down. Keep going. You're gonna do 3, 2, try to look straight ahead, and one more to open up through that shoulder girdle. Okay, and then let the shoulders come down and rest, okay? You're gonna lace your fingers together behind your back. So all of these are shoulder and chest openers to prepare you. You're gonna extend and lengthen through the arms best you can, reaching the palms for each other. And then hitch them to one hip, okay, or as close as you can get. Then squeeze the elbows together behind you like little butterfly wings for 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Hitch to the other side. Squeeze the elbows together, use your core, keep it stable, lift up and in the belly button. 3, 2, 1, and release. If your palms don't touch, use your strap, hang on to it behind you, walk the hands as close together as possible. You're gonna unlace and relace your fingers the weird way, okay? So what does that mean? It means non-dominant thumb on top, and that always feels weird. And then hitch again. Squeeze both of the elbows towards each other. Stay tall. Try to keep equal weight on your sits bones for 3, 2, 1. Release. And then to the other side. Hitch the best you can. Try not to knock yourself totally out of alignment. Squeeze the elbows together behind you. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. So here comes the goods when it comes to Dolphin. Grab your block. You're gonna have it between the meaty part of the palms, the elbows are gonna lift and the shoulders are gonna slide down. You're actually gonna fold the elbows into where they're parallel and you're headed towards the floor. There's a lot of different ways to do this, and this may be one that you guys wanna email me about. You're trying to get your elbows block distance apart, okay? So that they're in their own little railroad tracks. Now granted, not everybody's shoulders are block distance apart, but you can do the best you can. And you want to have that feeling of cinching and knitting together, okay? From here, you're gonna scooch apart. You're gonna try to get your forehead towards the floor. Now, even before my forehead touches the floor, I can feel the stretch from here to here. So you're creating traction between your elbows and the floor. So you set your elbows up, then you hinge back in the hips. And then if your head will go down, great. If it doesn't, that is okay. So wherever it'll go, then you're gonna try to extend and bend, okay? You may get a very big and deep stretch through the biceps. You may only feel it in your triceps. And you may just only feel it in the shoulder, which is the goal, okay? So this can be done in a lot of ways. On the floor is the way I'm showing you. You could always hook your elbows, say, on top of a chair. So if getting onto the floor is not really accessible for you, you get the length and the stretch underneath, and you can still do this bend and extend with the block. You're gonna do it 2 more times. Try to keep the elbows narrow as if there's a little magnet in between them, keeping them connected, so that the shoulders open as the arms extend and bend, and then go ahead and release, okay? You can use the block for a couple of things. Bring the block in. You're gonna line it up in the middle of your forearms and put your hands down on the mat, okay? So again, you're trying to hug in with the forearms, right? Tuck the toes under, send yourself up to a down dog position. But guess what? You're in dolphin, okay? So you're on those forearms and you're hugging in. So the goal, yes, is to walk the feet in, but so much of that depends on the low back and the hamstrings. What we're focusing on today is trying to open up in the shoulders. Now, awesome, because this block is here, look, I can rest my head. So there's a little bit of release in the neck. Squeeze the elbows in, try to hug your block. You're gonna feel it across the tops of the shoulders. Spread the palms really wide, push through the meaty part of the palm. 3, 2, 1. Walk your feet back, bend the knees. Child's pose, okay? So block can do a lot for you as to support and alignment. It's gonna help you figure out what's the best distance for my arms to be to give me support in this. Spread through the meaty part of the palm, squeeze down in the armpit, feel that open up the chest and the collarbone. But as you hug your forearms into the block, what does that do to your upper back? It lights it up, it engages everything. Stay here, tuck the toes underneath, take an inhale, exhale to press back. So again, it doesn't have to be about how close your feet are towards your forearms, just that you're feeling stability, that you don't feel like you're all crashing in on yourself because of gravity. Squeeze down in the armpit, squeeze the block. That down in the armpit is what gives you access to your upper back. Then you can start to see if you can walk those feet in, but it's not the most important thing right now. You can rest your head. 4, 3, 2, 1, come down and rest. And then go ahead and take the block out of the way and just try your dolphin as is, okay? So fingertips, fingers go wide. You really want to make and take up the most amount of space you possibly can with your palm as possible. It gives you a wider base of support, right? Then, are your arms in parallel railroad tracks? Do they look basically block distance apart? Some people will tell you to have the thumbs touch and line them up there. I find that a little pinchy and a little narrow in my shoulder, so block distance works for me. You can fish with it a little bit. From here, tuck your tailbone, tuck your toes, press back through the legs best you can. That block is not in your way, it's also not there to support you now. Squeeze down in the armpit, squeeze the forearms together. Then start to walk the feet a little bit if you can or if you want to. It doesn't have to be a ton. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knees. Child's pose. heel, and roll up through your spine. Roll the shoulders down and back. There's not typically a silver bullet to get you into poses and postures. Just because I make a shape in your workout doesn't mean you have to make the exact shape. What I'm inviting you to do is come towards that shape the best your body can do on the mat today. So Dolphin it's a big exercise, right? You don't want to be hanging in the joints and feel like gravity is like taking its toll. You want to feel empowered and lifted and kind of suctioned up off of the floor. But how do you do that? You have to open up the chest and the shoulders. You've got to have a ton of core support to lift and hold you against gravity, and you've got to get access into that squeeze down into the armpit and that narrowing in the forearms. So that is your Dolphin tutorial for today. If you have any questions, email me, Tandy@mattandkitchen.com. Thanks.